Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Mark's Man Cave. Sure, it's been a while. We have been busy, but we've not been doing much filming, to be honest here. Today I'm going to give you a quick update on the cars, and then today what I'm going to do is I want to fit a Windows 10 PC to the Escort Cosworth, and you'll find out why in a second. So an update then. The XR2i Subaru Impreza. There's not much to update, to be honest with you. I've not done a thing to it. It's sat here. I know for a fact it's got a bit of a power steering leak because my garage Crocs, I left them under there, and when I came back down I had a crock full of power steering fluid. The Escort. Now, this is what we're doing most of the work on. It may not appear much different. So, what happened here is, although we inspected the bottom end when we built the engine back up, it all looked good. Honing marks are still in it. All the bearings look perfect. It looks like the crank had a bit of a bend in it. So, it threw number 4 bearing, span it. Resulting in obviously the bottom end needing a rebuild. So apologies, I didn't film it all. We just went for it basically. Pulled the engine. The bottom end went down to Gordon Engine Services. I had to get a new crank, new pistons. Went for pocketed pistons this time, and put it all back together. So it's all back together now. Got to run it in now as well, which is annoying because I was hoping this summer it'd be out at full chat. So I've done about 50 miles running in so far. A little bit of clutch adjustments needed and a bit of tweaking to the map. So I'm chatting to Autodynamics about that. Another thing we've done as well, courtesy of Dave Lee I'm not sure why it come out on the camera at XYZ Fabrication. He's made me these carbon fibre inlays. Not sure if they probably just look black on the camera, to be honest with you. They're quite cool, bit different. And then the final update is my hair and beard. If you haven't noticed, I've got a bet on with James that I won't shave my beard or my hair, get a haircut for 1 year. So that'll be the 1st of December. So I'm slowly going to turn into Grizzly Adams on these videos. So some of you may remember, before I went to Link ECU, I had this DTM monitor in the dash. This is my carbon dash panel I made. You can tell I made it because it's looked like it's been done with this axe, but you can't notice most of this when it's in. So I had my DTM monitor in here, and the DTM monitor read all the live data off the LA ECU, the old ECU. Really, really good. Really good bit of kit. If you haven't got one, I'd recommend getting one if you're staying on your standard ECU. That is now useless because it won't work with a Link ECU. So I've got this mad hat idea in my head that I want to build a Windows 10 PC into the Cosy. So at the moment I get my Windows laptop, plug it into the Link ECU, and it brings up all the data from that ECU. I know you can go and buy specialist dashs to go in these. They're absolute fortune. So I thought I'd try and do something a bit different myself. So the plan is, this is a little Windows Pocket PC. It's a Pocket PC W5 Pro. It came with Windows pre-built on it. It's got 64 gig of ROM and 4 gig of RAM. So the RAM might be the only problem with this, because I think the recommended for Windows 10 is 8. But I'm not intending to run a lot on it, so hopefully it won't be too laggy. It also comes with an expandable memory slot there. So what I'll do is show you what the plan is. So 7-inch touchscreen, little Windows PC, and I'll unplug these up here. if you'd imagine these are your USB ports in the car, I have bought, and I've tested this already, hence it's got these wires on. I bought this JZK DC-DC converter, so 12 volts in, 5 volts, 3 amps out. You've got your two USB ports there, and I'm going to hardwire that into the car. So just to give you a little demo, if I can remember how this all goes together. So you've got your HDMI cable, so your PC plugs into there. Get it around the right way, might help. And that goes into your screen. You've then got USB cable from there to your screen, and then to power you need another USB cable in the screen. So that will go to the USB port, in this case in the wall, obviously in the car. And then you need power to your PC. Now what I was hoping with the PC, because I'm going to mount this, probably just going to Velcro it in the glove box somewhere, so I can get to it if needed. On some PCs you can set them in the BIOS to boot when power is connected. And unfortunately, this little PC does not support that. So I am going to have to just turn it on by the little power button on the side every time I want to use it. Which, is it annoying? Not really, I suppose, but it would be nice if I put it on a rocker switch, that I could just power on the PC, it would detect power to it and turn itself off. And then to turn it off, just do the normal Windows side of things to turn it off. So I'll power it up now. So we'll give that a couple of minutes. Right guys, so the PC's booted up. I just put my username and password in. Not sure how well it'll come out on the camera. Let me just turn that light off. That better? Yeah, cool. So what I've installed in here, so it's all touchscreen. Like I said, I've already pre-installed the PC Link G5 software, which is this one here. I've put Google Chrome on. And my other idea as well is I've not got a radio in the car. So I've also connected this, because it's got Bluetooth, that little PC. I've got a set of sound deadening headphones for around the doors. The Cozzie's are right, but on a long trip it's absolutely obnoxious. There's no sound deadening, it's just pure noise. So after a while it'll get a little bit boring, to be honest with you, the noise. It's fine around the doors, having a blast, but on a long trip it'll get a little bit tedious. So I've also connected my sound deadening headphones, and I've installed Amazon Music and TuneIn Radio. So the plan would be to tether the PC off my phone when I'm out and about, and that allow me to listen to all my music as well, which in theory I thought was a good idea. So it's got the I don't think it will do much because I'm not plugged into it, but it's got the G5 Link software on there. I don't know, so I need to change the tap thing for that. So I've just opened the Link software. What I did actually, I just went into the map because it gives you a bit more of a realistic view. And on here you can see all the data that I'll be able to see, and you can actually set, I've had a quick play earlier, it's not on this one. You can have another one on the top and gauges, and you can add different gauges, so you can just have a screen full of gauges. What my other plan is, that I've not tested yet and not got working yet, is using Real Dash. If you look at that, James, so Real Dash works with Link ECU as well, quite snazzy. You can change that to maps there. Look, it can do all sorts. If I can get into the settings, if I can remember how to do it, which I can't. Oh, there you go. So this is your car, look, and you can set everything up on here. It's quite cool. You can go into, click on your dash and add a connection. So that's where I'll add the, I think the link's already in here, to be fair. Yeah, there's a link ECU. So once it's connected, I'm hoping I'll click on that and it will talk to the link ECU. If not, I'll have to do some Googling. So that's the car. It's quite, and you can click on various other bits on here, put your tyre, wheel, and size in and everything. So yeah, quite good. And then you can customise this dash as well. You can map on that side. You can change this to volts and all sorts, and I think you can change this as well probably. But yeah, all customisable. So that's the plan. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to shut this down, and then I'll show you what the plan is and how I'm going to do it. So bear with me. Right, so the plan, as I said earlier, I've got the original one out. So on here I had fan switch, launch control, heaters, DTM monitor on here. I had a boost controller up here. That's gone as well because it's all done by the new ECU. So, and I've got this piece of carbon fibre left over from when Dave made me the inlays for the bonnet. So rather than slinging that on there, cutting around it, and then cutting a hole for that, I'm going to cut a hole for this on here. So I've got it on there, got it where I want it, and use that as a full template rather than possibly messing up on there and then having to cut another piece. So it's not so bad if I'm messing up on here. I think I'm going to move my switches around a bit because you see that's taking up most of the space there. So the switches will probably end up on here like that. So that's the plan. So screen there, switches there, and that's where it's going to go. Cutting it, I've got my Dremel with a cutting disc in, and I've got, because I've cut this carbon fibre before and it's horrible, a decent mask because the dust that comes off here is pretty horrible. What we're going to do now is we're going to stick the time lapse on, and we'll run through and I'll cut all this and hopefully I won't mess it up too badly. So as I said, I'm using the existing one as a template, cutting it round. Had a little problem with the Dremel there, I ended up pulling it apart just to get the blade out. Went quite well, to be honest. Yeah, screen's in. I did take into account that it's like backed off by about 4mm, so I had to work on that just to get it nicely in. Right guys, so I've got the screen in. There it is. That's for the fans, that's for the heaters, and I've got my mini PC. Sort of happy with it. I think I could have done this surround a bit better. I'm going to come up with a better idea with that, but it's alright for now. It will do. It's insecure. I have got a plan, but it'll do for now. Let's get in the car and get it all fitted in. Right guys, so I've already wired all my cables through. So I've got the HDMI, the connection to the mini PC for the touch screen and the power for the screen, and then here I've got the other ends. I've got an extra cable because I've got the cable USB that goes to the ECU. The link ECU lives under there. Right, so let's get it all plugged in. I'll start at this end with a mini PC. Torch, so you can see a bit better. So USB into the HDMI. Power. What I've also done is the little USB power supply. I've wired that in behind the glove box as well into a spare power supply I've got there. So that's that end plugged in. What I'm going to do with this, I think once I'm happy with all the cabling and where stuff's going to go, I'm probably just going to Velcro this into the glove box somewhere. But I do need to access, as I said earlier, because it won't power on by the BIOS when it gets a power supply. I need to be able to push that button. So once I'm happy, I'll maybe just Velcro this up in somewhere, so I'm just reaching and press that button. But for now, I'll just dump her there. Right. What I've also bought as well is a right angle adapter for HDMI, just to make it a little bit easier. I didn't like the cable bending down. So right, let's get her in. So we've got power supply in there. He says long way around. That's in. Got the USB for the touchscreen that goes to the PC, and then I've got the HDMI. That's in. Now that slots in here like so. Now I'm not going to show you me screwing all this in, because I'll just place it in for now, because what I still need to do is put the wires back in for these switches. So that's her in. So now in theory, if I turn the power on by the isolator, that should power up. Let's give it a go. That's that one. Well, power to the screen. Alright, let's get the PC powered on. Oh, screen's powering up. She's booting. Here we go. Like I said before, I'm not particularly happy with this surround, the job I've done on surround. So I have started mocking up surround to go around there. And I'll make that out of carbon fibre as well. That'll look better. I also mentioned earlier I'm not going to screw it in yet. I've also decided I'm going to put a USB power socket at the top there. So I'll do that whilst I've got the dashing bits. Nice powering up now. So the engine's not on at the moment. This is just off the battery, plugged into the USB that I showed you earlier. And there she is, powered up. For that bad boy. So what I'm going to do now is I'll start the car up and connect it to the Link ECU by opening the software. Right guys, engine's running. Apologies for the noise. The old girl's very noisy. No sound deadening in an old Valley car. What I'm going to do now is I've already opened the app, but I'll show you and I'll connect to the Link ECU. Hopefully, if I remember what I'm doing. So click OK on that. ECU connected. So what I can do in here, this is showing you all the ECU mapping and where the mapper goes into. But at the top here, James, at the top here, I can add another tab if you like and add different gauges. So in here, you can already see, you can view the configuration. If I click on tuning, all the bits here. Look, that one there. There we go. So on tuning here, and down the bottom here, you can see the Lambda AFR that needs changing to AFR. temp, and then that one there. See my throttle going up down, throttle position sensor. You see the squiggly lines going there. I think that's something to do with the fueling or something. But yeah, so the plan is to set up another tab at the top, and then I can have like a gauge, a lambda gauge, AFR gauge, boost gauge, knock, and all the other bits involved. So I can have live monitoring on here like I used to do with my old DTM monitor. So I think that's probably a first of a kind, Windows PC built into an old Escort Cosworth. Like I said before, I'm going to sort the surround out and do a bit more tinkering in it, and I'll probably do another little video or maybe a short once I've set up all my gauges. James, what does everyone need to do?
Don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that notification bell.
Thanks all.